Where'd my other phone go? What's up, Wacky Wayland and Braun of all trades? Sorry to hear that my wife's walking again. Yeah, she said the last time I posted that, she said that makes it sound like she couldn't walk, and it's like an update of something like that if somebody didn't actually know. What's up, JV or JVE Lardo, Jevelardo, J Velardo? I don't know. However the words go and separate from one another. Nothing specific today. I'm gonna try turning the camera around this way this time, just so I can actually see what's on the screen. That way, if I bring stuff up and show it to you, I don't have any particular thing. I just didn't have anything to do. I got done with my estimating and all my invoicing and all that stuff, so I thought I'd just come out and see what y'all were doing. What's up, Chuck Dog? Also, Chris and Cuttaloo. Did you figure out how to sync the comments to the TV? No matter what I did, I could get my phone to mirror to the TV, but every time I open YouTube, soon as I either let a video autoplay, like whenever I was scrolling down through videos, or if I click on a video, it automatically, like the AirPlay, automatically blows the screen up as just the video. So you never see the comment section or anything like that. And there wasn't anything that I could, I turned off every single setting. I turned off Bluetooth. I searched around and just couldn't do it. So right now, this is about the only way I know to do it, other than if I maybe set up a computer. But I like this because I can scroll it. Like if I go over here with a computer and have to control a mouse and all that, this is going to be a little bit harder for me to do. You got the last one, and I don't even remember what the last one was that I said. So I think it's J Velardo. Maybe I got it right that time. Dale Durgan, hey, I'm having to catch a ride to work as well. What's up, redacted? John, how's it going? What's in the packouts behind you? That's one of the things that I'm going to show. I had a question. I'm trying to save questions now. If I'm going to do lives, at least remotely often. Like I had a question today from Woodworker Wannabe was his name, and asking about. I showed somebody else asked in the last live, asked if the M12 brad nailer. So you've got, the M12 pin nailer, pretty small and compact. It fit in the small compact box. I showed it in the last video, but they were wanting to know if the M12 brad nailer would fit in the compact box, the one that's just one size. So Woodworker Wannabe wanted to know, well, what will it fit inside of one of these, which I didn't expect it to, because pretty much this half size of the 11 compartment deal is exactly the same. But let me go ahead and I'll grab you. And I want to, that way I can kind of show what my answer was. Some of the stuff's hard to type what the answer is. So let me go ahead and grab you, bring you around here, flop you around. So as far as this 11 compartment deal, you do got a little bit more room because of this thing. But this thing here is still basically the same size, as one of these. So the M12 brad nailer didn't fit in that. I showed that in the last video. It also won't fit in this, this way. It's obviously not going to go in there because it's pretty much the same. Now, what you could do is if you wanted to shave out one side of this, I think you could get it to go down in there. But it's still a little bit iffy because the depth of this is different than the depth of this. But I still think if you put that in there and you shave that out, it would go in an angle and maybe shut. I don't know for sure that it would. I'm not going to tell you 100% that it would. But if you wanted to go the route of taking, some of this out, you could probably make the M12 brad nailer go in there. Now, the pin nailer fits, but the brad nailer doesn't. So that'd be the answer to Woodworker Wannabe's question. This one over here, I've just been working on just had that video for this cable stapler I was just working on. I don't do cutouts in my foam. I just made the layer really thin, the same thickness basically, to make my tool touch the top of the, so it doesn't move around. But then that way, if I want to change this later, I can still use that foam right there. I don't do that whole cutting stuff out around on my foam. I just throw it in there. So that's the cable stapler. I basically added the Milwaukee staples that I had, along with one of these charts, so that if an inspector or something asks something, and then just some hand staples and stuff that I would use for MC cable, basically anything to attach some wire, some zip ties. So I was just making me a box for that M12 cable stapler. That's what was in that. Other than that, I just cleaned off the desk. I just made a video for some new non-contact voltage testers that I picked up. I've actually got it uploading right now, so I'm hoping that doesn't mess with the amount of speed that's working on this. As far as this live stream, I hope that doesn't mess up anything. But basically, I picked up some Sandtronics, some different testers. So I got a video for that. I'll probably put it out tomorrow. Let me flop you back around here. But that's what was in the pack outs. I was working on the cable stapler, and then I also brought out that one so I could answer Woodworker Bee's question. And then that way I sent him an answer, but that way I can say, you can go watch this live and actually physically see what I was talking about with that. Let's see. J Velardo just M18 Forge 12.0s. They're awesome. I haven't bought any of the Forge batteries yet. I do like the high output, M12 one's better. I've had some high output M18s for a while, but I'm interested to maybe one of the, I probably won't just go, I never just buy batteries because I'm always buying tool deals where I get a battery for free or something like that. So I'm going to wait until they start putting some Forge batteries out with stuff like that. There's VCG reviews, Vegan's Cookie Good, walking time. Yeah, she walks almost pretty much every day, but some days I've got enough stuff to catch up on invoicing and estimates and, filming something or doing whatever. Like I said, I just got done filming a video out here this afternoon. John, I asked about that the other day. My new M12 brad nailer is coming tomorrow. I like it. I mean, like I said, if I didn't have the M18, appreciate that, Vegan's Cookie Good. If I didn't have the M18, I would buy it, if I could only have one, just because there's going to be times you're going to want to shoot that 2-inch, nail. Now, if I already had a 16 gauge nailer, which I've got a 16 gauge. If I had a 16 gauge or a 15 gauge, but I wanted a brad nailer for smaller stuff, I think I would buy the M12 and then just use my 16 gauge whenever I needed longer nails or something like that. But I really like the size of it. Like I said, it kind of stinks that it doesn't shoot a little bit longer nail. I'm also hoping that my battery doesn't die on me. So if the stream just ends abruptly, it's because my battery on my phone died. I only had like 50-something%, and I can't charge it while I'm recording if I'm using a microphone. So, Wacky Wayland, have you used the Cabler stapler yet? No, just in my review. I actually had a job today. It was a service call where I could have used it. I ended up having to hand staple some stuff in, but I got there and I didn't know I was going to be doing any electric work. I went there. So today I did a job where a lady got new granite countertops put in, and I went and installed a faucet, a garbage disposal, hooked up her drains and all that stuff. And I thought that's all I was going there to do, and then install a Ring doorbell. But whenever I got there, I ended up having to run a receptacle for her gas stove, because I guess at some point in time she had an electric stove. Now, this was before she moved there. My guess is they built a house for an electric stove, and then because it had a electric outlet to 220 there, and then whoever lived there before her wanted gas stoves, so they ran a gas line, and they were just running the cord up to one of the appliance receptacles, and so she didn't like that look. And I told her, I said, well, I can fix it for you, because at the time they had just tore out all the backsplash and had the backer board up there, and all the screws were still showing. I said, well, I can take these screws and stuff off this and just open up this whole wall. I said, it'd be really super simple right now if you want to do it. So I ended up doing that today, but I didn't have the gun with me. It was sitting here where I was working on this pack out deal. So now the only thing I've used it on is my, let's see if I still got the leftovers. I haven't taken this down yet. I cut all my wire out to save it, but I haven't used it other than the testing for that. I actually found one on Facebook this morning for $70, and I messaged the guy and asked him if he still had it, and he said he did, but I'd have to send him $10 Cash App if he wanted me to bring it to him today. And I'm like, I'm not a moron. You know, I know what you're doing. You're just trying to get $10 from people and then never do it. So I didn't mess with getting that one. I'm sure it was something wrong with that. Let's see. Vegan cookies good. Eat that leftover spaghetti while she's out walking. I ate that that night. You know, I ate it for lunch, and then there was a little bit left over. And spaghetti's one of those things I actually like left over better. Like I just get it straight out of the refrigerator and eat it. But I gotta quit eating the spaghetti though. I always fluctuate in weight. Like I'm normally somewhere around 195, 200, but there's always one time a year, and it's this time of year where I get up into closer to 220, and I'm already at that point. So I've gotta cut back on that spaghetti a little bit and change my diet up a little bit. Let's see. My screen on my phone looks different than the screen that's on here, so I'm going to change that a little bit. Let's see what that looks like. So y'all aren't looking at my big belly. Let's see if that's any better. Let's see, John. Yeah, that will be the downfall. No 2-inch nails. I have a DeWalt 20 volt 16 gauge if I need. Yes. So John, that's kind of to me that would be the perfect setup. If you've already got another gun that will shoot longer nails, then I think the Milwaukee M12 is a good brad nailer because most of the time you're going to use smaller nails. It depends on what you do. I do a lot of trim and stuff, so I use longer nails. But like if you're just putting stuff together, I think it's the way to go. And the M12 pin nailer is fantastic too. I use the fire out of it for all kinds of stuff. Chris Conway, good evening, Joey. I have picked up in the last month or two the M12 rivet tool and the M18 top handles chainsaw. Would highly recommend both of them. Really impressed by them. Yep, DeWalt 20 volt still king on those long nailers. Also another 99 cents. Appreciate that. So I was just going to see what all y'all are doing. Like I said, I don't have a specific reason why I came out here tonight. I'm just coming out here because I didn't have anything to do. I don't know what I do with my drink. What y'all working on this week? Like I said, today I did all that with the faucet and stuff. I'm also changing out, which I'm only doing all the drywall work, but there's a place where a lady, I guess, kicked a hole in a tub, and they already tore out the tub and everything. It's a fiberglass tub, but it's been leaking apparently underneath of it, which it was a slab at least, but the water's been running to the plates and then wicking up the drywall. So I went and cut drywall out 2 foot in a bunch of areas. I'm going to fix that. And then tomorrow I'm going to start a job, and I'm going to try to film some of it, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to. But I definitely won't be able to film the whole job over the course of time because it's going to be a pretty lengthy job. But I'm going tomorrow and starting demo on a building where somebody bought it for an office space, and it used to be a dentist office and then also a hair salon. So there's plumbing and stuff in every single room, like a sink and all that kind of stuff. And they're not doing that kind of it's just offices where they don't need sinks and stuff. They need that wall space more than anything. So I'm going and cutting out all the drywall, cutting out all the plumbing and all that, which is at least a basement. So it's not going to be that bad of a job, but I'm going to start on that tomorrow. And then other than that, I've got some exterior doors, window, and then I'm building a fourplex apartment. I'm GCing that, and then doing the interior once I get to it. But I'm project managing the whole job over the course of time. So I didn't know just curious what y'all are working on at the moment. See if the view's any better. I'm still gonna change it some. Y'all end up looking at my shorts. It's weird because it's different on my screen than what it is like that I'm looking at with it turned towards me than what it is on here that I'm watching. VCG just finished a job, headed back to Arizona from Kanab. John, I own a remodeling company. Sure beats carrying the air compressor. That 23 gauge pin nailer is great. That's why I ordered the M12 brad nailer. Yeah, I don't use a compressor ever. I've got one here in my barn or in my building here. It's an old, I think Campbell Hosfield, maybe. I can't even remember what the name of it is. I've had it no, it's not. It's Delta. It's Delta. But I bet I've had that thing. I've had it as long as I've been living outside of my parents' house, so it's been in my garage forever. But I air up tires with it pretty much, and even then, even now, I don't even do that half the time. I just get out my M12 inflator because I like the fact that I can press a button and it just pumps it up to the PSI and turns itself off. I don't even have to check it, so I usually don't even use that for that. Really, my sons every now and then will pull up here and pump up their tires if they need it. But yeah, battery powered everything. Like I don't use a compressor for anything really anymore. Not specifically. Got to clean out my work van. So much wet cardboard on here. Tricky Nicky, seamless gutters every day. LOL. So you do the same thing every day. So uh, that would be a good business, I would think. Though in my area, you can't find anybody that does it. Like I have to call 3 or 4 people every time to get somebody. There's 3 or 4 people that do it, but they're always so slammed that you can't ever get them out there. Like they're so busy all the time. Which the building in my area is crazy, like houses and stuff like that. I mean, they're just building like crazy. It's nonstop. Residential is all the work you could probably possibly want, which I don't do a lot of other than service work, and even commercial is kind of the same way. But I would think that seamless gutter stuff. I've watched people do it. It seems like it's pretty nice. Would be a pretty other than the installing it and getting up on these heights and all that stuff. But I'm talking about you probably got those trailer with the little deal that makes it and all that stuff. You can have yourself a really efficient setup in that, or at least I've seen some people that do, anyways. Chris Conway, that's one of the best features with the M12 inflator. Set it and walk away. Yeah, 100%. That's like I said. That's why I even use it over my air compressor. Can be sitting here right next to my truck, and I will still get in my deck drawers and get the M12 inflator out and pump up my tires. Battery powered compressor for small jobs. Yeah, I haven't had the M18 compressor. I thought about getting it once before, but again, I don't know what I'd even use it for. I really don't. Because I thought about buying it just because I saw it on deal one time, and then I was like, I really don't know what I would possibly use that for, because I've got a M12 like die grinder. I've got all my nail guns are pretty much battery powered now. I still got some air ones, but I haven't got them out forever. I just sold a lot of my air ones. I had a lot of rigid 18 gauge and pin nailer and all those. I put those on Facebook and sold them because I literally had not got them out in forever. The only air powered nail gun that I still own is a crown stapler, and I'm probably going to get rid of it because I bought that Metabo one on sale on at Lowe's. It was on sale. Chris Conway, I work in public schools, and this is our slam time of year. Always something different and lots of it. Yeah, our schools just started, and traffic was crazy this morning. Like it's like even the college just started back in, or people are moving in or doing whatever. But my traffic this morning was nuts. But I bet y'all, whenever school first starts, they're probably, which I would think maybe your school hadn't started yet. I would think like a few weeks leading up to school would be crazy because I'm sure teachers want stuff hung or they want stuff moved or whatever it is too. I don't know. I've not worked in the school system. That's actually the place I worked before I went out on my own. I went to I left the job. I was working at a factory. It was called Magna. I don't know if any of y'all know of that, but they make like we made frames for F1 or F250s and Nissans and stuff like that. But worked on the press equipment. Basically, did all the stuff with that. And I worked 80 hours a week. I worked 12, 14 hours a day, whatever it was. It was tons of hours, and I just got tired of doing that. So I finally decided I'm going to go out and find me a job where I don't work as much overtime at least. And I went and applied at the place where I worked at, and then I also applied at the public school system. They had a maintenance job open, and I applied for that, but I really wanted to work at where I ended up working at. But they hadn't called me back, and I had went through 2 interviews with the school system, and I was getting ready to I got called back in for the third, and I was like, well, if they call me in and they offer me the job, I'm gonna go ahead and take it. I hadn't heard anything from other people or anything like that. But the day before I went in for my third interview, the company that I ended up working for ended up calling me, and I ended up going to work for them. So I almost worked for the school system, but I haven't, so I don't know exactly what I was involved in it. Let's see. VCG reviews. DeWalt 2.5 gallon flex volt compressor is good for me. I like to use it as a quick air tool for simple jobs. Loud though. Let's celebrate their 20th super on a live stream. I think About 18 of them are from VCG reviews. Justin Richards, I went to Harbor Freight for my first time today. Man, that's something there. I actually don't go there very often, which it's in a weird part of my town that I don't work by awful lot, so I don't think to go by there very often. My girl and I walked around checking it out. Pittsburgh seemed to be the best brand in there. I know it's a cheap tool store, but they had a lot. Yeah, and for the most part, I think most of their tools are pretty decent as far as hand tools. I mean, I'm not saying that they're going to last you forever, but if you've got a lifetime warranty on them and they break and you can just walk in the store and get another one, for some people, I don't want to have to mess with that, very often. So, but I mean, if I was somebody, I think that's a pretty good value. It's kind of like the old Sears and Craftsman where you could just walk in there and change out a tool. I mean, that's an outstanding warranty, and you can't hardly beat that. So even if you buy one, as long as the tool doesn't feel wonky when you're using it, and it still feels good, even if it's not as durable and it breaks, if you can walk in there and get another one, I'm not hating on anybody for buying Harbor Freight tools. I just don't like messing with the time to do all that because, again, my Harbor Freight's in a weird part of town. I don't want to have to drive over and trade tools in or something like that. Now, they're battery powered tools and all that kind of stuff. I don't know anything about them personally. I've never owned one, but I wouldn't trust them just because that's just how I am. I want to buy something that I know people are using, and I don't know anybody that uses them. So I've watched some videos on them. I mean, some people seem like they like the Hercules stuff pretty well. Let's see. Yeah, the last call I took was 610s. It got old real quick. Money was great, but sucked not having a weekend. Yeah, my whole time in my probably 20s and early teens, or not early teens, end of teens, I worked 7 days a week, 10 to 14 hours a day. And it gets old pretty quick. And my kids were young, and I kept listening to the older guys I was working with say they wish they'd have done something different whenever their kids were little and all that stuff. And I finally just decided, you know what, I'm making crazy good money, but it's not worth it in the end of things. I'd rather be at home and be able to, be around my kids enough during the weekend. I always had to take vacation days on Fridays just to get like a weekend off. That was the only way basically I ever got any time off, was a vacation day. And it gets old pretty quick. But working all those hours when I was younger and making all that overtime money and all that stuff, I didn't spend it stupid. I kept putting it on my house or putting it on my vehicles or whatever else. I didn't just go out and spend overtime money on stupid stuff. And it put me in a pretty good spot financially. So it's not a bad idea for somebody who's young to go out and work those hours, while you're young and just hammer to it. But make sure you do something good with that money. Don't just blow it on a bunch of junk. Buy yourself some tools or something at least. But at least save some of it or apply it to debt, save yourself a down payment, do something with it, and you'll be set up pretty good. But it's like, I just know so many people that worked the same hours as me, made the same money as me, and they just didn't seem to ever have a pot to pee in, because I don't know what they did with it. But it ended up putting me in a pretty good financial shape, but it sure stunk, working that many hours. Let's see. Justin, I've been too much of a snob to even go in there, but for step bits, maybe I'll get them there. That's what I've always bought there, is like consumable stuff, like zip ties, all that kind of stuff. You can go into Harbor Freight and leave out there. Now, they're drywall sanding, which you probably don't use much of, but they're sanding pads. I really like those, and they're really cheap too. So some like consumable stuff, in my opinion, if Harbor Freight's got it and you're just going to burn through it, it's not a bad idea. John, I have that DeWalt cordless compressor, just less I have to carry around in the van. Lowe's fights you on that old Craftsman swaps. Yeah, I quit even I know Harbor Freight does it, but to be honest with you, if I had a tool that broke, I don't know that I'd go in there and even mess with it. I've never done it before, and I don't even attempt it. I know Home Depot supposedly has it on Husky and other brands and all that, but the amount of time that you sometimes have to spend going in places, and I've heard Harbor Freight's pretty good about it, but again, I've not done it, so I don't know. But the amount of time that you got to go into somewhere and mess with getting a manager or doing whatever because they don't want to do it, it's like, I can make more money probably in the time I'm going to spend to do that, to just buy that tool again. If it's a $20 hand tool or something like that, it's not worth it. Now, if you have some kind of big power tool that didn't work out for you, I could get that. But I don't ever deal with, like, if they ask you for an extended warranty, if they ask you for all that, I never get it on anything because it never fails. Whatever it is that happened to it, it wasn't covered by whatever it is, that you had, even if you paid extra for some kind of warranty. VCG, I stand behind Doyle brand on many of their hand tools. Check out some of my reviews. Uh, Contreras, I still use my air compressor from time to time on fence jobs. Yeah, if you're going to just hammer away, but although I'm going to be honest with you, like I said, the battery powered nailers. Now, the very first battery powered nailer that I bought was the DeWalt 18 volt, like NCAD Brad nailer. I think that was the first one I had, and I was pretty impressed with it whenever I got it, because I would have never bought a battery powered nail gun just based upon, you probably have bought the electric ones a long time ago and it would only probably shoot the small nails and all that. Just never did a good job. And I remember somebody had that DeWalt one, and I was like, yeah, I can't imagine a battery powered nailer is going to do very well. But I used theirs and I went and bought myself one. It worked pretty well, but it still was like slow. And now, my Milwaukee ones and stuff like that, I can just hammer away at it. I mean, they go crazy fast for what they are. So they've come a long way. Like, I would have said, maybe a few years ago, there was still in my mind a place for air, but now I'm pretty much just use cordless. Now for framing nailers and stuff like that, I would get it because I've used the Milwaukee framing nailer and it is heavy as all get out. Like, I wouldn't want to pack that thing all day long. But like the Brad nailers and all that stuff, they're not too bad. Now they're definitely a little bit heavier, obviously, than an air one, but I don't think it's that much drastically different. The framing nailer's different story. Harbor Freight Inside Track Club. Yeah, I'm not a part of that either because I don't go in there enough to think I need to mess with it. Russ Albright, don't forget to give him a thumbs up for taking the time to do the live. Appreciate that, Russ. Wasn't a deal on the cable stapler today or on Monday. The tool deals were on Monday, Russ, but the cable stapler wasn't mixed in there. I'm sure it'll be on there again, though. A lot of times they keep putting up the same tools over and over again. Billy Stagner, best website for tools. It probably depends on what tools you're running. Me personally, I buy more stuff on Home Depot than I buy on anything, either Home Depot or Amazon. And it's just because Home Depot's where the bulk of my battery powered platforms and stuff are, versus, you get into, if you run something else besides Milwaukee or Ryobi or Rigid, you probably go somewhere else. Now Amazon, I just go there, but Amazon's more for hand tools than power tools. I don't attempt to buy power tools on Amazon just because I feel like you're risking it. I've known enough people that say they get fake ones and all that kind of stuff. And plus, my Home Depot, I've got the perks account thing where, I end up getting probably $400 or $500 in gift cards every year just by the amount of money I spend in there for tools and jobs and things like that. So my money at least goes towards getting me some kind of a reward at Home Depot. So that's why I like it as well. Let's see. Acme Tools, Ohio Power Tool, KC Tool. I have bought from all three of those. They've been pretty good experiences too. Amazon's good. I picked up the Milwaukee 18 volt fence stapler. That's Lysander Spooner. That thing saves me so much time on my old shoulder. LOL. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I haven't seen it in person. I've seen it, but I haven't seen it in person. But I don't do very much fencing. In fact, the times people even ask me, I get calls for it all the time. Hey, would you want to repair a fence? But they always want some kind of astronomical, it'd be like 40 holes and all that stuff. And I'm not doing that. I'm not digging holes by hand. And most of the time, you get equipment out. A lot of the neighborhoods I work in are all established, that the people that want this work. And I know that if I get out my equipment, no matter how much you try to explain to somebody, this is going to tear up your yard or whatever it is, it's like, they're like, oh, it'll be okay. And then whenever you're done, they're like, I didn't know it was going to do all this. You get into a mess with that. So I don't even attempt it a lot of times. House of Tools is kind of crap, Billy Stagner says. You got to be, like, I bought lots of stuff from them. I've not had any problem with them, but you have to know you're not going to get stuff like quick as Amazon. And some stuff you still will get within a few days, but you got to pay attention because they burnt me on it. It took me a while to get I think it was a pair of Knipex forged wire strippers I ordered through them. And now that I know it, I just check it, because if it says on there, what's it say? Extended shipping and handling time may be needed. If it says that, that means they don't have it, and they'll ship it to you whenever they get it. So it could be like a month or something. And so if I ever see that, I just don't order it. it doesn't matter to me that it's going to be a month or whatever, and I just know it ahead of time. But most of the time, if I've ordered from them, I get it within a week. If it doesn't say that right there, I haven't had a problem with them. But I've ordered from them probably 5, 6 times now, because sometimes they've got some vessel stuff that some other people didn't have at the time. Russ Albright saw that, so he's Justin Richards. I've never checked out House of Tools. I went there and bought. I think I went there and bought my Knipex Forge wire strippers, the first pair that I bought because I couldn't find them anywhere else. And then occasionally they've had some stuff from Klein and everything else that they have specifically got that it's not on Amazon, it's not on Home Depot, it's not on Lowe's yet. Like, I don't remember what it was I bought not too long ago where they were the only people that had it, besides maybe like Acme Tools. Sometimes Acme Tools or Ohio Power Tool, and then House of Tools has something that the rest of them doesn't have. And House of Tools doesn't have that where you got to spend $100 to get free shipping, where like Acme. So if I'm wanting to buy a $20 Klein screwdriver, I don't want to have to load up $80 more worth of stuff to get free shipping. I just order it from the House of Tools. But it's not been bad for me. Like I said, I have had some times where it's taken me a while to get some stuff, but it's not been bad. Diego Rojas, I use the M18 framing nailer with a high output 3 amp battery. Lasts me 6 to 7 hours, one charge, 5 hours when being completely used. So I bet you got the big guns, uh, Diego. That sucker is heavy. Billy Stagner, very pricey. The House of Tools. Some of their stuff is always, like I said, I've only bought stuff from them that isn't somewhere else, but it is always a little bit more expensive there than it is everywhere. So like if you can get it somewhere else, I wouldn't buy it from them. I've only bought stuff from them. Like that's where I got my clock, which I took down for a second because sometimes whenever I film the shadow off of it's weird if I'm zoomed in, so I took it down. I've actually got it over here. I'm gonna put it up. I bought from them just to get this, but sometimes they've had some stuff that nobody else has, so I go ahead and buy from them. Let's see, Elliot Parrish. I have both M12 and M18 batteries. Which would be the better compressor to add? I don't have the M18 inflator. The M12 works fine for me. I mean, I even pump up my truck tires, but I don't know about the M18. I'm sure it does it faster. I'm sure it can probably do even bigger tires, but it's a lot bigger. I like the M12 one because if I'm gonna carry it in my truck, it takes up less room for me. So that's why I like it. And again, it does everything I need it to. It might take a little longer, but again, I don't think it's a problem. I'm gonna get me a drink. Contreras 21. I have the Metabo cordless framing nailer. It's not as near as heavy as the Milwaukee, and it's good. Yeah, I was just talking on the tools with. I always forget if it's So Al's or So Laz. I can never remember how his name goes. I have to look at it. And then Tools with Tactics. They always live stream together a lot of times. And I was on there talking about Metabo, and I've got a Hitachi that takes Metabo batteries, so it's basically the same tool. Uh, it's the only other nail gun that I've used, the Hitachi 16 gauge, that I feel like whenever I'm shooting it, it's like shooting a Milwaukee one. Like there's no ramp up, and you can just fire away at it. It's really nice. I really like it as well. So their nailers are really good. I haven't seen their framing nailer though. I might look into theirs and see how I might go to Lowe's and see if they've got one, because again, I've got the batteries for those. If I ever need a framing nailer, my buddy bought the Milwaukee one whenever we were doing a certain job. I'm normally doing small build outs, and I just use screws a lot of times because and I only do interior like demising or interior like partition walls and stuff like that a lot of times. So I'm not doing any kind of like crazy structural stuff, or most of the time I'm not. Every now and then we do. Captain 41, my Knipex collection is growing fast. Yeah, that'll happen to you as soon as you start buying one. They're really good tools. And like I said, I'm not saying like the difference between Klein and Knipex is like Klein's here and Knipex is BAM or anything like that. They're both good. I just like a lot of the Knipex tools. I just like them a little bit better the way that they work. I love the forged wire strippers. Some people don't like them, but I absolutely love them. The best strippers I've ever had. But again, I deal with MC cable 95% of the time, and I want them to open up like those forged wire. If I didn't deal with MC cable, it'd be a total different story, because there's not a lot of other strippers out there that open wide enough to cut MC cable. Lysander Spooner, off topic, but I'm looking into getting a maintenance position with the county. I've applied 4 times but haven't heard back. Do you think age is an issue they take into consideration? I'm 54. Uh, Possibly. I don't know though, but they're really not going to have much choice unless they just don't care if somebody has the ability to, because then they start hiring. That's kind of like what I was talking about, my local Lowe's. They got rid of anybody that knew what they were doing at Lowe's, knew what stuff was, knew, like, could answer an actual question, and just put in all new people who know nothing, but it saved them some money, I'm sure. So sometimes that might be the case, but it might be they're just looking for somebody to fill a position at X amount of dollars, and they don't think that you'd be willing to do it based on your work history, and that might be part of it too. I've known that to be the case a lot of times with different jobs. Tooling with Newman, just ordered from House of Tools. Half came within a week and half came within a month. Yeah, see, like I said, you got to pay attention. If it says extended, again, I think this is how it's phrased. I can't remember. Extended handling time may be required or something on the page where you add it to your cart on the product page. If it says that, you can be guaranteed it's probably going to take you a little while to get it. Mr. Tickler said, hey, I just want to tell you I watch all your videos and appreciate you doing them. Appreciate that, buddy. KMS Tools is a good website, relatively good price, and comes fast. I don't think I've ever ordered from them. Just got the 38-piece Zyclock Imperial socket set, and as good and amazing as the quality is, there's too many sizes I'd never use. I'm definitely going to go with something different, but not sure yet. VCG Reviews says I'll die on my Klein Hill. Yeah, like I said, I still love Klein. I grew up using Klein. I've been using Klein forever. I just started using Knipex in the last few years, but I still roll out my Klein. Like, I still carry, like, in my SBLD, I'm running Klein diagonals just because, but I finally got me some angled ones. These were part of that USA set that I picked up, but I always prefer the little bit of an angle on my diagonals. That's what I like more than anything. But other than that, I've gone pretty strong Knipex on my main bags, but I still have a ton of Klein tools that I throw in the mix every now and then. Like I said, I like to swap up tools every so often. There are, like, my pouches, I like to try to keep them the same, because you get so much, like, memory of grabbing stuff and all that. But my bags, I kind of change out here and there because I find it fun just to, whenever I go in to do, maybe that's something to help with mundane jobs, in my opinion. Like, I think I said that in a Watch Me Work video. Sometimes I just throw in new tools and say, let me see if I can get it done with these, just to make it more interesting. There's TPG. Hope you're doing well, buddy. TPG, let's see, Lysander, thanks, you appreciate it. I don't remember what I answered you. Oh, the maintenance position. John says, I'm in north of Pittsburgh. All the Lowe's and Home Depot got rid of all the good workers. They don't pay well. Yeah, I think that's what my Lowe's, but this has been a long time going on my Lowe's. Like, it hadn't been in the last little bit. They've been doing it over the last, like, probably 8-9 years, and it's just nowhere near the same store as what it was whenever I used to go in there, like, all the time. And I just don't go in there as much anymore. My HVAC left. Don't know if you have a Northern tool. No, I don't. I wish I did, close by, but they carry more Milwaukee options on the floor than Home Depot. Better version of Harbor Freight, cheap consumables, but carry Milwaukee. I was just in a store, the town that I'm going to work on this office space and start doing some demo tomorrow. It's in a town I don't normally work in, but I'm doing it for a customer that I work for in the town that I do work in. It had a Rural King or something. I think that was the name of it. I want to say that was the name of it. I hadn't been in one in my area, so I went in there. They carry Milwaukee tools, and they actually had quite a few that my Home Depot don't have, like more specialized type stuff that my Home Depot doesn't carry. Captain 41, Klein and Knipex, top 2 brands for electrical work. Loving the new Klein 11-1. Yeah, that's one of my favorite Klein screwdrivers. I carry that in my SBLD over there too. I think you can see it in the picture. That's the screwdriver that I put in my bags, that I'm carrying in a bag, and I just need a screwdriver that'll do a lot of stuff. Now my pouch, again, I like to swap out to dedicated stuff. TPG, we have a Northern tool nearby. Not been there in a very long time. Wish mine was like that. It's different in Chicagoland. Rural King is outstanding for all kinds of things. They have steel if you like their gas stuff. Yeah, they had a lot of stuff in there. I spent maybe I was waiting for somebody to show up to let me in. The time I went to look at the job, and I had some time to kill, so I thought, well, I'm gonna pull in here and just see what they got. And then they have a Lowe's there. They don't have a Home Depot. It's like every town I go to, if I go to a town and they've got a Lowe's, Home Depot, and all that, I stop in every single one of them to see if they've got any clearance stuff. Because every one of them is different. Sometimes one has really good stuff, and sometimes others don't. Northern Tool in Atlanta, Contreras 21 said they have Knipex there too. I keep saying Knipex on here. I've thought I'd train myself to say Knipex to quit getting in trouble, but I keep saying Knipex. Uh, you doing good on Guess the Trade vids for next weekend? Yeah, I think I've got. I don't know if I'm going to do a reload or a guess the trade, but I've got several reloads. I only have a couple of the like actual guess the trades. Justin's one of them, and I think Gusty Oinker is supposed to be sending me some stuff. But I've got enough to do as long as it doesn't end up raining between now and then. I'm hoping to be able to start on it. I usually try to film them on Thursdays if I have time, as long as it ain't raining, because normally I'm waiting for people to give an answer, but I already know what for the most part, the last two did, so I didn't have to wait. So I just have to wait till I have some time to film it. With Sandra Spooner, I went from the Klein multi-screwdriver to the Lennox. I find them much tougher. Personal preference, though. I don't think I've ever carried the Lennox. I've seen them in Lowe's, but I've never carried one. Every time I've ever bought an 11 one, I've just bought a Klein. I've never even really tried many of the other ones, to be honest with you. Just because it's habit, Like I said, Klein screwdriver handle to me is like second nature because that's what I've always used. Now, there's a lot of them out there that are very similar to theirs, like the Ideals aren't very much different. I've even got a DeWalt set that I've had. I got these on clearance at Home Depot. I like the fact that they had that on the top of them. It's the whole reason why I bought them. But these are actually DeWalt, and I bought two sets of these. They were on clearance at Home Depot one day for like $9, and it was all these. Here, let me get you. So you had like a long slotted, a stubby slotted, and then a regular size, and then it also came with a square number one. But see, I really liked this. I wish more people would. I wish more companies would pay attention to what they've got on the top of their handles. I use that all the time. And then it had a square two, and then it had Phillips. But I don't like like this Phillips right here. It's supposed to be a Phillips like number two, I guess. Let's see if I can get it to. But it's always slipped on everything. Like it stinks. It's horrible. But I bought like two of them sets a long time ago, and I've had them forever. And I just keep those out here in my garage just to be, screwdrivers to grab real fast. Let's see where we are. Like I said, if we abruptly end, it's because my battery dies. I can't even see how much. It doesn't show me how much I've got on there, but I know it was at a lower percentage. Keep those vids going. Everyone send them pics. Yeah, for the guess the trade. Like I said, I'm good. Most of the time, every time I film one and put one out, I usually get a couple people that send something. I'm almost every time. Now, it hadn't been like back whenever I first started doing it, I was getting a lot of them. I think I had like 40 something at one time, like a list in my computer. But usually every time I've ever filmed a video, there's been somebody come in and replace, because maybe it's their first time watching them or whatever. Let's see. Tulum with Newman had a good simple belt setup today. Yeah, I hadn't went inside to watch any videos. I haven't even turned on my YouTube yet to see what all came out today. Shane Sy, I've thought about sending in my loadout, but I'm not really a trades person. I use tools all the time at work, but I don't think it'd be easy to guess since it's not a trade. But it doesn't matter. Shane, like I said, I called it back at the very first episode. I was didn't want to call it guess the trade for that reason. Basically, if you've got tools and we want to look at them, everybody that's in here loves looking at them, loves looking. Like if you've got a bag maybe that somebody even they were thinking about buying, but they've never seen somebody have tools in them. They can always learn something from that. And again, we've had people who are just homeowners. We've had farmers. We've had all sorts of people sitting in bags. We can learn something from anybody's tool bag. So please, if you want to send them in, go ahead and send it in. You don't have to be a tradesperson. I didn't know what else to call it. Guess the trade, I think I said in that video, the very first one was that's just easier as a title than guess what this person does with these tools and blah, blah, blah. Really way too long of a title. I'll scoot in a little. Let me get me a drink. But when anybody that if you send me pictures, try to turn them horizontal. Also, try to number them when you send them if it matters to you, because sometimes even whenever you send them, like if the file names or whatever, it puts them in a different order when I drag them over to my computer. Again, I don't care if you number them. It's just if you want them to be. Sometimes it makes more sense if you've got a plan of however it was you were looking at your bag and taking pictures. Because again, I try not to really, really look at them before I come out here and film it. I'm looking at it the first time because I want to kind of look at it as if it's the same way that y'all are looking at it, even if I know what the person does. So that's pretty helpful. And then I know that the email, like if you send them from your phone, sometimes your phone will shrink them, like because to save space. So you always have to do that, send an original format, or else sometimes whenever you go blow them up, whenever I'm looking at them, they're real blurry. So. Captain 41, I've been estate hunting for made in the USA tools, having great success. Yeah, I think I'd like to start doing that, but I don't know if I'll ever have the time to, but I'd like to. John, how can we send you pictures? If you go, my email is on my, whatever the YouTube page is, but if you go into one of the Guess the Trade videos and look in the description, it'll have like my email and stuff in there too, and you just email them to me. Email me the pictures, but also include your YouTube handle, like what it shows up as. And not what it shows up as, but like underneath of your name, there'll be like, say your name is, John. It probably says, John dash 5V6297. That's what I need, so that way I know that who it is, and I can take a screenshot of your name and all that kind of stuff. Justin Richards, he posted his email, never guessed the trade video with other criteria to make it easier on him. Yeah. TPG said he shrunk his down. My phone is rather high resolution. I think some of the pics were 4 gigabyte. Yeah. Like I said, it's really big sometimes. It is good to shrink them down, especially for emailing them, because it would take forever. But the most quality that you can send me, the better, basically. Because sometimes I'll get them and the phone, and I know what it is because I've done it whenever I've sent emails to people and it asks me, do I want to shrink the image down or send it in original quality or whatever it is. And basically some of the files I get sometimes are like 51 gigabytes or something rather. And whenever I see that, I'm like, I know that this is going to be, way too blurry. There's no way this is going to look good at all. And I try to catch it like whenever you first send it to me, but sometimes I'm busy and I just drag the photos over and then I go back into them later to number them or do whatever. And that's when I notice the size. I'm like, man, I hope they didn't already throw away their pictures off their phone or whatever and have to do all that again. So I try to catch it whenever you first send it to me. If I see like 51 gigabyte size pictures, to ask you to try to send them to me again, but every now and then I don't catch it. Justin Richards, 54 people and only 20 likes. Come on, guys. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, I hadn't picked up. I got some, again, I've got a video uploading right now for some non-contact voltage tester and then a DC tester that they sent me as well. Santronics reached out to me. I bought the 3115 myself, and that's my favorite tester at the moment. And they reached out and said they had watched that video and wanted to thank me for making the video, and then asked me about sending me some of their other stuff. And I really like it too. Their testers are really good in my opinion. I think for me they're the best ones that I've used for a couple of reasons. So I'll probably put that video out tomorrow because I don't know. It probably won't get done uploading. My internet upload speed stinks, and it probably won't get done uploading until later tonight. And I don't like putting out a video later at night. For one, most of you probably aren't watching YouTube, but then two, like people will start commenting and I'm going to be asleep, and I'd rather, basically be awake whenever I first upload a video. What's up, John's Xterra? Number 55. I didn't get too dressed up for this one. I got on the old t-shirt and some shorts out here. I got tired of being hot out here. Which it's 86 in here today, but again, it's not near as humid as what it has been. So I'm still drinking coffee, which I drink coffee all the time. Like, it doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees, I'm still drinking coffee. It's my favorite drink. Appreciate that, Justin. And like I said, I appreciate all y'all that do that kind of stuff, but don't ever think I'm coming on here to try to get people to super chat me and all that stuff to make money. I appreciate it, so don't think that I don't appreciate it by saying that, but y'all don't feel like you have to do that kind of stuff. You know, like I said, everybody liking videos and subscribing, and I don't ask that on every video, and I'll be honest with you, I think it does matter, but I'm still not going to ask just because I don't want to, because I said that in a video not too long ago. I think of the people who watch my video, if I go to my analytics, I think it says that 87% of my people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. So I don't know if that's a bad thing on me that people don't want to subscribe after they watch or whatever. But, you know, again, I don't ask on my videos. I got like it says it on my little end screen at the end. But I did on one video, like I've watched some videos that said if you want to make more subscribers, you just simply have to ask because it just works out that way. But one of my videos, I said at the beginning that I don't ever say it, but I wanted to take the time to say thank you for everybody who had subscribed and all those things. And I think I mentioned something about subscribing on that video. And like normally my videos, I might get 10 subscribers or something like that. That video, I got 120. So it does make a difference. I think if you ask, I'm probably still not going to, because like I said, I just don't feel, I've always said, I feel like if somebody wants to, they're going to, but maybe you mentioning it makes somebody think about, hey, I'm going to check and see if I'm subscribed. Because I know sometimes I watch people that I think I have subscribed to, and then maybe I didn't, you know, and I thought I was or whatever, and then I noticed I hadn't seen them, but it just did show me one of their videos every now and then, or maybe they even unsubscribe you from people every now and then. I don't know how it all works, but again, I don't really care. It doesn't matter. I appreciate everybody that does it. I appreciate everybody that likes, subscribes, comments, all those things. I appreciate everybody that uses affiliate links. Again, it doesn't matter to me if you do or if you don't, but I appreciate it when you do, because then it just allows me to make a little bit of money, a little bit more money, and I just turn around and buy tools and things with it. So I do appreciate it whenever everybody does it. Let's see. Funny enough, I'm also wearing the old shirt and short combo. Yeah, my HVAC life need to install a mini split out there. I've thought about it, but I like I said, honestly, other than if I wasn't filming YouTube videos out here, I'd have zero problem with the way that it is, because I'd have my fans blowing, I'd have my door open, and I like it. I like actually that breeze blowing on me and all that stuff. But it does get hot whenever I'm not running those things. It gets a little stuffy in here. I had a company ask me to send me one. I thought about getting it. I just have to film installing it and all that kind of stuff, and I don't know that I'd have the time to do that anytime soon. That's why I get offers for things like that, and it's not that it would be bad. I don't like committing to things that have a time frame on it. I always tell people if they want to send me stuff, I like, look, I'm a full-time contractor. I just do YouTube kind of as a side thing. So sometimes it might take a few weeks or, you know, whatever for me to even make a video if I make one. So as long as you're cool with that, that's fine. And so I don't like getting stuff where I feel like I'm obligated, like in a time frame for somebody. I'm not going to do that, because I don't want to feel like I have to. Let's see, got to make me some banana bread later. That's some good stuff. I got to cut off the banana bread though. I ate too many. Like, I've been eating. I got on a Dunkin' Donut apple fritter. I done forgot kick. Kick was the last word I was going to say with that. Apple fritter kick here in the last little bit, and it's made me starting to get a little tubby. I got to quit. We sometimes take your name in vain on other tool channels we watch. Justin Richards, that's awesome. I'm glad they're subscribing. I want to buy a GoPro and just film some days on the job. I find those bids interesting. Yeah, I love, like, it's not hard to film with the GoPro. Of course, you look like a total goober, so I don't like doing it in places where, like, there's just tons of people around. And I think it's like the influencers just walk in stores and just start doing stuff, like, and talking and stuff. I'm just like, I don't know that I could ever do that. I feel like a goober. But them GoPros, man, the batteries last like zero time. Like they just burn through like crazy. And then whenever I take my GoPro footage, the thing I don't like about the GoPro more than anything is I edit everything on my iPad, my iPhone, just because I like iMovie. It's what I've gotten used to because I can't really probably do anything any crazier than that. But whenever I go and put my footage from my GoPro into my iPad, like all the file name orders are all weird. So then I got to sit there and try to figure out because it breaks them down to like 8 minute. Like it never films like your whole thing is one video. Like every 8 minutes, it starts another file so that I guess in case you lose something, you won't lose all of it. And it takes me forever to figure out what order all that stuff goes into. I basically have to rewatch the whole 4 hours, whatever it is, and just to figure out what it is. So I like the GoPro. It's really light and all that kind of stuff, but man, it's not really all that feasible to use like in a all day type scenario. Let's see. Jay Velardo, do you use a 6.5 circular saw? No, I don't. I like my blade to be on the other side, so I always buy either the 7.25. Well, actually, the 6.5. That's how they are, but I don't buy that because I wanted a 7.25. I've got a rear handle 7.25. The 6.5 I would buy before I bought a 7.25 regular one, just because I like the blade side on it. I never liked Milwaukee circular saws until the new ones. Was using Makita. The new Milwaukee 6.5 fuel is crazy powerful and compact as well. Really good. Yeah, I've been hearing good things on that one too. Question reality: do you have a favorite blade for your Milwaukee fastback? I've been blowing through my Stanley blades and want to try something different when these are all gone. I buy them like in clearance and stuff. I go through so many, I use them up like crazy. These blades here have always been my favorite, but they don't sell them anymore. And I found these on eBay and I ended up buying a ton of them. But these Stanley Fat Max, but it has to be the specific Stanley Fat Max. I use these on acoustical ceiling grid tiles that have that reveal edge where you got to sit there and cut all the edges to make them fit down in the grid. And these have been the best ones. So I save these specifically for those jobs because it's the best ones for those. But these are really good blades. But I save them specifically for acoustic tile jobs. I've got a bunch of, I buy them anytime I see like there's some Cobalt ones. I did buy some tough built ones that are on clearance at Menards the other day, but I bought these to put in that scraper because they have to have the tough built ones in that scraper. But yeah, I bought these on eBay. I've been saving them. I had to pay a lot more for them, but I think I've got DeWalt ones in my truck. I've got DeWalt ones there. I've got some Crescent ones. These I haven't used these yet though. These were on clearance at Lowe's one day. I picked up a bunch of those. But I've been using the DeWalt ones because I've got DeWalt ones in my truck inside of one of these things. I don't know if I've got them to where I can get to it. I don't. Inside of one of these small packs, DeWalt has like a little hose blades inside of that. That's what I keep in my truck, just because it's smaller than one of those big things. But I had somebody said something about maybe it was the Linux blades or something in one video. I haven't ever bought any. I think it's like Linux Gold or something like that. But I've always bought, like I said, I change them out pretty often. So I don't care how long they keep their blade as long as I got a bunch of them. And I end up buying them for pretty cheap. Let's see. Tools and Tactics is live. John Zixtera. I wonder if he's talking tools or talking zombies. I watched him play that zombie game the other day. My Milwaukee M12 Gen 3, the trigger has a problem where the brake will not engage when I let off the trigger. The Gen 3, what is that? Is that that's the new one, right? With the lights on the front. This one, that Gen 3. This one only gets used out here, so I haven't put the wear and tear on mine to know if mine would be a problem. So this only pretty much anytime that I'm putting stuff together out here is the only time I use that one. I bought that in a kit to get the new hammer drills, what I wanted, and then it was cheaper for me to buy the whole thing and get the batteries and all that stuff than it was for me to just buy the hammer drill, because I changed my old M12 hammer drill over to my mud mixing drill for my pans, and then that way I got tired of messing with trying to keep it so clean. So I wanted to get the new hammer drill to use as a hammer drill because I like the M12 hammer drill for certain things because it's not so hard. Because some things that the M18s and all that, especially rotary hammers, certain things I get into, it just blows it out. And sometimes that M12 works really well. Mac Bergson, Mac Bergson. I really enjoy your show. Thank you. Appreciate that, buddy. Thanks for hitting the like button, y'all. If you just got in here, hit the like button. Appreciate that. Matt HMM, there he is. So have you been in here the whole time, Matt, talking, and they've been canceling you, or did you just get in here? I use the same as Joey's M12 and 60-volt DeWalt rear handle. Yeah. Yeah, I think the M12 saw, and then if you've got a 7 1/4 or a rear handle, like that's the combination of saws that I use, hand saws. I use my M12 probably 80% of the time, if not even more than that. And then if that don't do it, like if I know I'm cutting something that's really big, I get out my rear handle and use it. But if I can get away from using that rear handle, it is super heavy. I try to. Let's see. John says, watch Home Depot around Christmas time. They put DeWalt blades on sale in the cardboard displays and those plastic holders. Yeah, they're for a while. Lowe's, like I said, I haven't used them yet. I bought a bunch of the Crescent, and then the Crescent that has a little hook on it too. They had them back there in the back for like nothing. I mean, just boxes of them. And I didn't buy very many of them because I've got a ton, even though I'm real bad about that stuff. Like it's like, oh, I can't pass up, a $2 blades and stuff like that, even though I've got enough to last me and 17 people for their whole entire life, probably sitting here in my drawer, and I still buy them anyways. But if I find people that need them though, I just give them a whole box, like a whole case of them. Like if I'm on a job and somebody says, hey, you got any utility knives, or utility blades, I don't have any, I'll go to my truck and get a whole box of that out and just give it to them. And so I just do stuff like that. Let's see. What do you do that destroys blades the most? Mine is I work on slab stuff a lot. So like I was just taking up some glue down carpet in a place that got flooded and changing it out with LVT and going and cutting all that carpet up in strips. I mean, it doesn't take 1 or 2 turns. And then other than that, the reveal edge tiles, ceiling, acoustical grid ceiling tiles, again, cutting them's not that big of a deal, but whenever you got to scribe the outside and trim them so they fit down in the grid, certain tiles, it eats the fire out of them. So you might, well, it doesn't tear them up real bad, but it makes them to where you can't get a clean edge. Like it dulls them enough. It's like you could still use them probably on a lot of other things, but you have to change them pretty regularly if you want to keep that clean edge on it. But that's probably when I end up using the most blades, is acoustical grid ceilings. Let's see. Cutting thin things directly on concrete, not a soft back. Yeah, I'll get a day of drywall on one blade. Yeah, I normally, if I'm going to do drywall and hang quite a bit, I get out my Dolphin knife. That's my favorite one to use for that. I just put a new blade in it in my truck, put it in my thing, and then that lasts me all day. Let's see. Thanks for the recommendations, Joey, in chat. You're welcome, buddy. John's Xterra Gen 3 hammer drill is so much better than Gen 2. Yeah, I think so too, myself. Yeah, Matt just saw it. You said, yeah, my wife went walking. I didn't have anything to do, so I thought I'd come out here and talk to you all. I got caught up on all my stuff inside, and I just finished filming a video. I've got it uploading now. What brand are those drawers behind you under the bench? I don't really know. They were in a quality control lab I'll kind of get you in close, I guess. I wish I could see how much battery I've got. I don't know if I can or not though. They were in a quality control lab at a factory that I was doing some demo work in, the company that I worked for at the time, and they were just going to throw them away. So I brought them home. See, and what it was this one was on a casters. This one was on casters. I took the casters off. That one was on casters. And then that one was on top of this one with that top on it right there. This has got like I'd say it's probably like quartz or something like that. I'm not sure what that is. But basically it was like a unit that rolled around like a toolbox kind of. And I just took them apart and I put them on there so that way I've got a top. And instead of just putting an extra shelf in there, I just made that one taller. But these are like really deep drawers. So I put carpet tiles in the bottom of them to keep stuff from slipping. But this one's just got all my extra bits and doodads in it. And these are just extra ones. These aren't like ones that I actually come in here to, get them out and use type thing. And I don't even know what all for sure I've got in here, to be honest with you. But they're pretty deep. I don't know how deep they are. Let me see if I can find me a tape measure. I think they're probably, let's see if I can get it one-handed here. About 20 inches deep by 31 inches. But like I said, if they've got a brand on them, I don't know what they are because I've never seen a brand name on them. And they were actually tied together too, so it was like a casters, but those two were together. You could see the screw holes right there where they were tied together, and then again those two were sitting on top of them, so it was like one big old rolling unit thing. TPG sounds like me. I gave the guy who pumped our septic tank a Sofrin's SP10. Yeah, I try, like, if I find deals on stuff, I've got a buddy, the guy I work with pretty regularly. We sit there and try to outgive each other tools all the time. Like, he finds deals on stuff, he'll buy two of them, bring me one. Every time I find something, if they've got two of them, I take him one. Justin Richards, real butter forever. I missed something. Let me go back up and see. Terry Burton joining the feed late. What is your battery bank charging setup in the shop and truck? I just have chargers plugged up. I've got tons of chargers, so I've got some Milwaukee ones over here, and then I've got a Milwaukee one up on top of this file cabinet too, and then I've also got my Ryobi chargers, a Metabo charger, and then in my truck I've got chargers, but I don't have an inverter or anything like that. I've got enough batteries in my truck that I know whatever I get into, it's going to be plenty for me that day. And then I've got enough extra batteries that whenever I get home, I just take the batteries out of my truck that I've used that day. I throw them on a charger, grab the ones off the charger, put them back in the truck, and then just sit there and go back and forth like that. That way it kind of evens out the wear on my batteries too, to where I'm not just using the same ones all the time. Then I've got some sitting in here in the garage that very rarely get used. That's just how I try to do it, but I don't have like anything major. Let's see. I like real butter in my cookies, thanks. No shortening here. Yeah, real butter in cookies is pretty good. So that's the butter question that I saw Justin Richards say something about. I'm like a fat kid in a candy store around the holidays buying up those deals on the cardboard displays at Home Depot on those. Me too. Yeah. And then afterwards, they usually have some that didn't sell real well, and they put those on crazy cheap. Like, that's when I buy Diablo saw blades and spade bits and all that. I've got extra sets of those. I got 2 or 3 of them from last year still left over. But that's the time to buy all your consumables. And then that way, you just keep using them throughout the year. And it's at the end of the year, if you own your business, you go spending some money, you get to take that off of your taxes and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Vegan cookies good says all cookies are created equal. I don't know if a vegan cookie is is created equal. I've never had a vegan cookie, or are all cookies vegan. I don't know that I've ever ate a cookie that had meat in it, so I don't know. I guess it's the whole egg thing probably for a vegan cookie. Elliot Parrish, just saw your video on the groove belt and ordered one on sale this weekend. It is already my favorite. Yeah, I'm still wearing, I alternate, I've got 2 of them, and both of mine are still in the same shape. I mean, they got a little bit of stuff where I've scuffed them on something or whatever, but they're both still working exactly the same as the day I bought them. Like, I haven't had a big stretch problem or anything like that. And then again, I'm somebody who I adjust in weight typically, so I've went up and down a little bit with them, and it's not affected it at all. I don't have to adjust those belts near as much as my other ones, though, just because of that stretch that's on them. But I still absolutely love mine. Matt HMM, Elliot, electronic clutch sucks on this M12 second gen drill. Yeah, it's not that great. That's why I wanted to get the 3rd gen whenever it came out, and that's why I bought the 3rd gen Impact, because I bought the kit. And again, if my battery dies and we just lose it, I didn't cut out on you. The battery would just die. Let's see. John's Xterra. I strip 4.0 cable with my Milwaukee fastback. I love my Milwaukee fastbacks. I don't ever see a knife. I've tried. I keep trying different ones that I would have never bought. I don't know if I've got like some kind of fuzz on my channel. Let me try wiping y'all off. I've tried a bunch of them. Now I don't mind this Fisker's one. I don't mind this one. It's not too bad. I could see myself using this, but it's a little bit too fat, to keep in my pocket all the time. I wouldn't want to keep that in my pocket, but I like the knife. I like how it handles. The Tough Built one here, it's okay. It's not bad either. The one with that paint scraper, I've tried it for a little while, but I just keep going back to the fastback. I'm used to the fastback. The screwdriver thing on the fastback is worth every penny to me. I use it all the time. So even if I find a knife that I like the knife, it's not worth it to me to lose that screwdriver function that I keep going back to the fastback with the screwdriver in it. But all the fastbacks are good no matter which one you get. 3 years plus on my Groove Life belt. The company started its headquarters an hour-ish away from me in Oregon, and you won't regret my utility knife blade recommendations for those rubber coatings. That's Matt HMM. Let's see. I also bought the Groove wallet in the last little bit, and it's real small and compact. You just flip your cards out, and I normally carry way too much stuff in my wallet, and of course, you're not supposed to sit on it because it messes up your back and all that stuff. So I decided I was going to do that and try it, and I really like it too. I've been using it for the last probably at least 6 months or so, and I really like it, and it's held up pretty well too. I bought the one that it takes the cards, but it also has a band on the front for to hold like a money clip type thing. But I actually carry more cards than that. Let's see, Joey, have you tried any of the 10 spot tools, pack out inserts for the M12 tools? I got a couple of them and find them very useful. Is that like the specific cutout ones? Like I've seen some for the installation driver and stuff like that. I don't know if that's what the 10 spot ones are, but they look really nice. But man, they're expensive. It's like sometimes that's the thing about the 3D printed insert stuff is like I would love to have a lot of it, but sometimes it's priced so high, which I have no idea what it costs to make it. Like I said, I don't have a 3D printer. I don't know how much the materials cost to print 3D stuff. I've thought about buying one, but I don't think I can handle trying to learn how to use one, to be honest with you, in the time frame that I've got to work with. So, but if that's the ones you're talking about, they do look really nice, and I keep buying more pack out whenever I like the 11 compartment organizers. These are on sale at my Home Depot right now for $39, which is $10 off. It's not a lot, but it's still $10. It's like, so if you buy very many of them, you get $10 off each one. You buy 5, it's $50. So I've been buying a couple of those every now and then. Let's see. How do you like that new M18 radio? The Packout radio was not loud enough for the price to me. I like that one, but again, I don't crank mine up. This one gets turned on louder than any other radio. Like on my job sites, I don't ever turn mine up real loud because there's usually people. So I try to keep it within my little area of wherever I'm working. So I don't even know how. This one gets pretty loud in my opinion, and it's got some decent bass, but I've never actually heard the Packout radio in person. Like nobody I know has it, so I've never heard it in person. I've wanted to get it, but I haven't bought it, and I don't know how well it compares to that one. But that one's okay. Now they've got the new ones coming out though. That one that's the speakers, and then they got a new M12 Packout radio coming out as well that clicks into the Packout. I love my little M12 radio. That's the one I use most on jobs just because it's small, fits in my truck, doesn't take up a lot of room. I look for that in tools more than anything just because I like to pack as much stuff in my truck as I can that's going to be useful for me. So if I can find something that still works good but it's small, I'm going to always probably go with that. Let's see. Justin Richards, how do you like? Oh, that's that. It clogs the heart good. Yeah, you can buy a 1100 watt inverter for $89. I saw the review for the M18 speaker on Workshop Addict. I wasn't thrilled. TPG says butter only for cookies, none of that industrial waste here. So we've started a good cookie conversation. It looks cool, but I didn't know how it was. Yeah, I like it. Like I said, I only got it because it was on sale one day as the deal of the day, and then I think you bought it and got a 5 amp hour battery or something, and it was basically cheaper than what the radio was, and you got a battery. And I think I turned around and sold the battery on Facebook, and then I also had an old Bosch 12 volt radio. That's what I normally kept in here and just used as my little garage radio. And I sold it on Facebook too. So I ended up, after I sold the battery and after I sold the Bosch radio, I ended up basically getting that radio for free. It takes a little while to do that, but you know, if you want to wheel and deal with tools, that's how you can. As long as you got the money that you can stand to be out the money up front, you can usually turn around if you like. I buy a lot of tools, but I sell a lot of tools. I do a lot of things to kind of offset it, but sometimes it takes a lot of time to end up getting it. Matt HMM 300 a set is better be good. My old tough radio Gen 1 sounds fantastic. Yeah, that pack out radios usually it's on sale. You can get it 299, but I think what is it normal price? 399 or is it 299 normal price? And I've seen it on sale for a little bit cheaper. Maybe I'm not real sure. I've never seen it like at a price where it's like, oh, I have to buy it. You know, I've been looking for something to happen like that. Let's see. Justin said the Fiskars one is American electrician's favorite, but nothing can replace my fastback with blade storage. Yeah, like I said, I like the knife. I like the ergonomics, but I don't like it in my pocket. It's just too big. I don't like it. Terry Burton, Joey, you have said you check the daily deals online, but aren't the best deals the clearance items, which you have to go to the store and see any other suggestions on fine deals? Yeah, if you catch stuff on clearance, it's by far usually better than anything online. Now, the Depot hack thing is typically like that's how I bought all my M12 tools. Whenever I first got into M12, I bought that Surge. I started watching. That's whenever I first started watching YouTube. I hadn't even never watched YouTube tool videos or people working or any of that stuff. And then I started watching. I found the Tool Boss, and then I was seeing how he was saying about going to Home Depot. And then that's when the second tool I think I went and bought was the installation driver, and they had it with a battery and the kit and all that stuff. And I was able to, or no, it was you bought the installation driver kit and you got the free 3/8 ratchet, like the non-fuel version. But I think it let me return that ratchet for like, I want to say $109 or something like that. And so I think the kit was $229. I took $109 off of it whenever I returned it. So I paid $109 for the M12 installation driver, or 129. I don't know what it ended up being, but it was like barely over $100 for the M12 installation driver with a kit with two batteries, a charger, the bag, and all that stuff. So once I found out you could do that, I was like, man, every M12 tool that came up that was hackable, I was going and buying it like crazy because I didn't have very many batteries. I didn't have, but now I've gotten to the point where I've got so many batteries and stuff. It's like it has to be something that I really want to even mess with hacking it and all that stuff. It's just it, and most of the deals online now, whenever I find them on Home Depot, there's stuff I've already bought. Like it's very rare that I find something where, oh, I've been waiting for this. That's like that cable stapler the other day. It wasn't that much off, but with the free staples, I went ahead and got it because it was a tool that I had been watching for a while, but they just never had put on sale. So I went ahead and got it then. But yeah, the best deals are definitely clearance, and you just have to go. And then everybody's clearance is different. Like my Home Depot's clearance usually stinks. Like it's usually not very good on tools wise. They've always got supplies. That's pretty good deals on supplies and things like that, but they never hardly put tools back there. It's like right now, the only clearance tool that my Home Depot has is the M12 5 3/8 circular saw. It's the Gen 1, and they've got it on clearance for 128. It's like you just had it on sale for $99 forever for like the last however long, and now you've got it back here on the clearance for 128. It's like, and why would I buy that whenever I can get the other one for $99? It's like sometimes their stuff just doesn't make sense. Let's see. Contreras 21, nothing beats the fastback. Matt HMM, my poor old Gen 1 fastback is gray, no longer red with blade swords. Yeah, I've got one of them that's like it was more all metal or whatever, very old. I don't think it's out here. I think it's inside. Yeah, I don't think I've got it out here. It was my first one that I bought, and it's almost like completely gray and everything like what you're saying. Scott Cade picked up the Icon Mini Ratchet for $25. The Milwaukee Fuel Sawzall this week. Yeah, they had a really good deal on the M18 like fuel Sawzall with a 5.0 battery on Monday. It wasn't. I mean, it was a pretty decent deal if you needed a battery, needed the Sawzall. I already had them both, so I didn't buy it, but it was pretty good. I think it was like 100. It was barely. It was like 59% off or whatever it was. VCG, did you know that you all can help this channel by hitting the like button? Appreciate that, buddy. 42 likes, 50 people watching. Hit that like button. Justin Richards, dang, those pack outs are sold out here at mine. Yeah, mine, I saw them for 39 a while back, and I went ahead and bought two of them, and then that was the last two that they had, and I didn't understand why they dropped the price on them, and I thought maybe they were like moving them for whatever reason. I'm like, well, surely Milwaukee's not getting rid of those. I would think that'd be like one of their main pack out sellers. But then they just recently put some more out, and they're still for $39. I don't know how long they're going to run that for. I've been waiting to see because every now and then I'll get like the coupons in my email for the pro rewards. Like if you spend $100, you get another 15 off, or spend 200, you get 25 off. Those kinds of things. And if I get one of those, I'm gonna go in there and buy $100 worth at the $39 and still save $10 plus get another $15 off. Because again, I long term want to swap out of my other boxes into pack out, but I'm only buying them whenever I catch them on a deal. Because those other ones still lock in together. I don't lock them on the sides like how they lock, but they still like you can set one on top of each other and they don't just fall over each other. So they still work all right for me. If it doesn't have a radio on it, it's useless to me. I'm an old man in that sense. Let's see, what kind of thing doesn't have a radio? Justin Richards, the pack out sucks. It's loud. It's not loud as the radio. That's $2.99 should be. It's cool that it's pack out compatible, but not worth the price. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't pay $2.99 for it. But it's because I also, again, I don't use a radio every day. And I'm not booming in a whole house like a residential contractor who you're working in a house that nobody's ever at besides you and your crew. Yeah, I would say definitely get you a really big booming, radio and get that thing going, but I never can do that, so I don't care about one that's like really loud. Ezron Belgrave, that Milwaukee cable gun you posted, you'll never go back to using a hammer unless for really tight spaces. Yeah, it is super nice. Again, I just used it for the review. I haven't went and done like the job that I'm going to start demoing tomorrow. Whenever I get done, I'll probably end up using it on that job because I got to move a lot of stuff and things like that. So that's where I'll actually get to kind of use it working and see how it works out for me. But I really like it for sure. Like it really performed extremely well the little amount that I've used it. Justin Richards cable stapler is sick. I had to get it, and I'm very glad I did. Matt HMM. That's why I carry some screw-on clamps in my pouches for those super tight spots. Yeah, I just now made. You probably came in a little late, Matt. I'll see if I was making my box. That's what one of these is, and I don't know for sure that I'm keeping all these things in there, but I just put me a small piece of foam in the bottom. I never cut my foam because, like I said, I can change this out to something else if I want to later. But I put the staples in there and then some hand staples in case I need to staple some. And then this is what I use typically for MC cable is these and some screws. I don't even know what these screws are, but I got a whole big old 25-pound box of them for like nothing one time, and they're really good screws. They work well with a square number 2, so I like that better. But yeah, I've been putting stuff, zip ties and things like that, but that's what I was making there. I've got to make my little PVC deal and then put me some labels on it. Let's see. The Skill Auto Hammer works decent for cable staples. Elliot Parrish, I saw you're a Louisville Cardinals fan. How are they looking for this year? I don't watch them as much as I used to. Like back, kind of right after, which I'm more of a football fan than basketball, but right after Lamar Jackson, you had Teddy Bridgewater before that. But then after that, all college football has kind of went to, and I don't have anything except for Antenna TV, and then I've got, Netflix and Prime Video and, streaming stuff like that. But I don't have a package where I get to watch Louisville like I used to, you know, and so I don't get to watch them near as much as what I used to. And it's kind of, so NCAA has kind of pushed a lot of the fan base, unless you want to go watch games live and stuff or pay some crazy amount for some kind of package. And I'm just not going to do that. So I don't get to watch them as much as I used to, but maybe they'll get it turned around a little bit though. Their basketball team's been horrible. BT, which Vessel electric driver is your favorite and why? I've only got the 3-speed versions, and then I've got both the American and the Japanese version. So I carry one in my pouch, and I can't remember which color is which. I'll know based on. I want to say the red was the Japan version. So these are the ones. Both of them I carry. Both of them always have that bit holder in it. The locking bit holder. This is how they stay, and I just change the bits in them. So I use both of them. These are both a 3-speed, so they're really the same exact thing. One of them is the US and one of them's not. The Japan version, which I think is the red one, you know, to fix that play. See, I don't have any play. Get it locked in there. Actually, I got it locked in there. I don't have any play with that one. But it's because I made that little spacer right there. I can take that out. So now if I put this in, you'll see how much play you get with that. But I can just leave this little spacer in there, and it locks in there and gets rid of that. And that spacer doesn't come out unless I release that collet with it upside down. So, but again, I just leave it in there all the time. The Japan one is cheaper on Amazon. Like it's $40, I think, the 3-speed version like this. And the US version was like still like $80 or whatever. And it's exactly the same screwdriver. Like there's no difference between it. But this one was supposed to be for US bits. I got rid of the slop on mine. I still got a hair. But I had to just stack, and I don't think I can probably get it. And I can't get them out. So that's the thing about this one, is it would never take the Japan bits if you wanted to. But I had to put pencil erasers in there because the mechanism in there is a little bit different. I couldn't just cut me a little piece. And so now I can't really get those out. I don't have slop, but I can't get those out. So I would buy the Japan version of the two. I haven't had the high speed, the high torque, or any of those, so I don't know how well those are. I will say the speed, I use mine on the highest torque, highest speed setting, but I would rather have the torque than the speed because I think the speed on mine is fine, you know, even at that. Mine doesn't go as fast as what the high speed one does, but the speed on mine's fine. But I very rarely, you know, I just have to loosen mine with one turn of my wrist, and then the torque is fine. And I think the high speed one's pretty, you know, you got to do a lot of manual work with it. I'm not sure. Again, I don't have it, so I don't know. That's just what I've heard. Let's see. Matt said the 3-speed and special edition colors. Elliot Parrish, I'm trying to figure out how to get the blackout version of Packout they sell in UK. Yeah, that would be nice. VCG, fastback equals fast cookie cutter. Yes, but add $250 on the shipping. Yeah, that's what, getting it all shipped over here and paying the import fees and all that kind of stuff, it gets crazy. 50 likes, we did it. Appreciate that. What Packout is $39 at Home Depot, John? That's the like the 11 compartment organizer. So the organizer like this that has the normally it has the trays on both sides, like the cups on both sides. I think it's called the 11 compartment. It's got 10 cups, and then you got that one slot in the middle. It's normally $49, so it's on sale for $39. So like I said, it's $10 off, which is, I mean, $10 is $10. Like I said, especially if you're getting into it and you want to buy 4 or 5 of those. I mean, that's like getting one free every so many of them. What's up, Timinator, the Tool Man? Let's see, Justin Richards. I went to buy that Packout specifically to set my cable stapler like you suggested in the review. Let's see, Matt said dinner time, have fun. Appreciate it, Matt. I appreciate you coming in. Like I said, my phone might end up dying in the next little bit. I only had I planned on coming out here. I put my top off over there, and I was like, well, I'll just charge my phone the entire time I'm on here, and then that way I don't have to worry about it. But I forgot that I had to plug my microphone in that USB jack, so I can't charge my phone and have the microphone on at the same time. which I think the wife might have just pulled in. Justin said, "Man, Miss Morgan is on a long walk unless she snuck in and didn't want to model another veto apron." Yeah, I think I just heard her car pull up. I don't know how much it's normally she walks for an hour and something every day. Typically, she goes up. We got a park that's right up the road from us, and her and one of my sons go walking all the time. She tries to get me to go, but it's not my thing. I tell her I walk enough during the day. I'm not messing with walking. Walking doesn't do anything for me. I could walk all day long. Check your dongle on the phone. Well, yeah, I don't know if that would charge. That's how you charge the thing that transmits to my mic. You plug a USB in, but I don't know if it would continue up to the phone or not. I might have to try that and see. I'll do it whenever we get done and see if that charges the actual transmitter or the receiver. I guess it's the receiver, and then also the phone at the same time. I'm not sure. I bought the, let me see, Hollyland mic. I bought some really cheap mic at the very beginning whenever I bought a mic just to try it and see, and it made a difference. But this one's been pretty good. I didn't buy one of those Rode mics or whatever. That's the ones most people buy. But this one, when I got it on sale, I still paid like $80 for it or something like that. But it's been pretty good. It's especially since I changed phones. Now the lightning cable on my older phone, whenever I was using it, every now and then it would disconnect. But this USB-C, it's connected like every single time. Like, and I haven't had any problems with it. Miss Timinator tries to get me to walk too. Tim said, Timinator, the tool man. He's been having a lot of videos on tough built stuff. If you're into tough built, you might want to go over to Timinator's channel and check out all those pouches and stuff. I think he's even like they ship him stuff all the time. I think he's got a Facebook group. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, but I think you've even got a Facebook group for Tough Built. John's Xterra, I like my TPLC. Yeah, I've still got it over here. I haven't sold it yet, even though I got that TP LD, which is pretty much similar, just a hair bigger. I kind of like the layout of the LD better, but I haven't turned loose of any of my older bags yet because I like to try my new ones and then see how I feel about it before I sell my old ones, because my old ones I know I like, and I'm just trying them out and seeing what I think. Justin Richards, I got 12,869 steps today. Fun, my girl and stepchild always walk, and I never partake. Yeah, that's what I tell them all the time. Like, I walk all day long, and plus, it's just like I could literally walk all day long, and I feel like it does nothing for me. Even though I'm sure it's better than sitting around eating Doritos, but I just don't have the want to. TPG, no, it doesn't charge. It runs off the phone. The USB port is so you can charge the phone. I may have the same one you do. John's Xterra, you say you were 45 feet in the air for 10 hours today. Just say you were 45 feet in the air for 10 hours today. You're welcome, Tim. VCG best step ladder. Mine by far, the one I use the most is my little giant, the little bitty dude. I got that. Also, I've got a little giant, like the A-frame that extends over. I never use it as the extended, but it's like I think it might be 4 foot, but it might be 5 foot. I keep that on my truck, and then I keep the little giant extension ladder that, you convert it from the A-frame to, I think it goes up to 22 feet. And I like it because it's got the leveling feet on it. So, I mean, I wouldn't have a ladder that didn't have that on it anymore, because you can basically throw it up against the house and push up on one side and get it to where you're not going to fall over. And again, I work by myself, so there's nobody that if I fall off a ladder that's going to be like, oh, I'm going to call an ambulance for you type thing. But the little giant one that I like the most is I forget what it's called. I've got a video for it. It's the something step, but it folds in and out. Like, you don't have to open it and close it. It just slings around, and like you throw it out, it opens up. It's real short, but I can touch an 8-foot ceiling like easy, like this on it, and it's all I need. But it's really easy to maneuver in and out of people's houses, like furniture and all that stuff. And like, you can easily just move it across the room and turn it around. Like, I got a video for it. It's an old video, so it's not real good, but it's a really good ladder. But you got to catch it on a deal. Sometimes it's been on deals at Lowe's, and then sometimes it's cheaper on Amazon. And sometimes it's crazy expensive on Amazon. Like I've seen it for $200 and something dollars. That's not what I paid for it, but I would honestly pay $200 for it though. If something happened to mine, I needed another one, I wouldn't buy another ladder. I use it all the time, like every day. I get that out of my truck. Amen to that. I can walk 26,000 steps per day in the 6'4" garage we're working on. A lot of steps and walking back and forth. Going on a walk after work doesn't seem appealing to me. Yeah, it's kind of the same as whenever I get home and my wife wants me to, change out a light fixture, or I've actually got 4 light fixtures I think sitting in my house right now that's been sitting in a box waiting for me to get them put up at some point in time, but I've just not got around to it. And plus I'm painting the ceilings and all that kind of stuff too. So but yeah, that kind of stuff, when you get home and you've done it all day long, it's like I really don't want to do that right now. It's kind of like the mechanic in his car. He's got the worst running car out of the bunch, even though he's a mechanic, because he works on cars all day. He doesn't want to work on his when he gets home. Let's see. John's Exterior said, Tim, I want the 7-pocket technician's pouch. And Tim just put his Facebook page on there. If y'all are on Facebook, again, I'm not really on Facebook. I'm actually a fake person on Facebook. I don't even use my real name. I'm only on there for Marketplace, where I buy and sell tools on there. So Justin Richards, that's awesome, Tim. I'll subscribe. I'm not on Facebook. Abraham, 12K is low for the size of the solar field that I'm working on. Terry Burton, I recently bought a 5-foot Warner ladder. I like it much more than the 6-foot, much easier to deal with. Yeah, 4-foot and 5-foot are my ladder of choice. And then because I'm 6 foot tall, I can reach quite a bit of stuff from that. I'll go grab that little giant ladder real fast, because it's going to be pretty easy for me to get out, so it won't take me but a second. So I'll see if I can get it all in the frame. But yeah, overall, this thing is only, let me get it tape again. I don't remember what it was. So from the bottom to the top is like 28 inches or 30 inches. But with me at 6 foot, I can easily get the 8-foot stuff. And it's got 375-pound weight limit on it. But the thing I like is it's just like it's got straps. So it just folds in and out like this. So whenever you're on it, like you're in a room and you've got it spread out, and then you need to move it over here, you just pick it up, it automatically closes, and then you flip it over here, and as you set it down, it flings out. And the top of it is really big. Like I stand on the top of it all the time. But it's been my favorite ladder because I can walk this in and out of people's houses super easy. So it's the one. It stays inside my inside my camper topper. My other 2 are strapped on the top of my camper topper, and so I get this one out because I don't have to undo anything. I don't have to unlock it. I don't have to do. It's just simple to get out. Let's see. How much does the ladder weigh? Looks pretty light. Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I mean, I can carry it with 2 fingers and do that all day long. Of course, I mean, whenever you look, you're probably not like this though. You probably don't have this, so you might not could do this, but I don't have a problem doing it. And again, that regular price, like on Amazon and stuff, like if you can catch it at Lowe's, like I've seen it for $60 at Lowe's, and I wish my Lowe's didn't have them at the time whenever I seen it for $60, or I'd have went and bought like 3 of them. I had them sitting over in my corner, but I couldn't get them. They wouldn't let me ship them to the store or anything like that either. Again, I don't remember what I paid on Amazon for mine. I think at the time I bought mine, I'd have to go back and watch that video. I paid like $100 or something for it. But it's sometimes on Amazon it's like 180 bucks, $200. I don't think I would put it in my wish list and watch it for a while because it's one of those things that just changes all the time. I've noticed a lot of times on Amazon, once the stock starts getting low on stuff, sometimes the price gets crazy cheap because I guess they want to clear that little space, and then sometimes it's really expensive. So I don't know what the logic is behind it, but I always watch everything in my wish list. Same thing on eBay. If you find tools or anything you like, always just watch it, and like the next day you'll get an email saying the seller has offered you a, sometimes it's a 20% discount, sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 15, but like I never buy anything. I just go add it to my watch list, and you always get something off of it. I like the Warner ladder with the little tool tray. Those are great. Yeah, that's what I've got, a 4 foot Warner ladder that has that. I've also got, but I don't take this one with me. Let's see, I'll bring it over here. I bought this one, but it's kind of heavy. I really like it. It's a, I think it was, it's a Louisville ladder, but it's got the, both sides has got the steps on them, so it's like a double-sided one, and it's a 4 footer, but it's pretty heavy. So I don't take it with me unless I know that I'm doing. Like I like to use this if I'm working on drop ceilings or something, where I can go up and down both sides, but I don't want to take scaffolding and set it up like a rolling scaffolding. And that's another thing I like about this little dude too, is it's got steps on both sides, so you can walk up and down both sides. I like the double-sided ladders, but they typically are a little bit heavier, especially on the bigger ones whenever you pick those up. Big muscles. Whoa, got a permit for them guns. Yeah, I've got a picture of me. I did a one of those mud run type things one time, and I dressed up as Macho Man Randy Savage, like people dressed up for it and then did the run in it or whatever. And I've got a picture of me with my arms up like this and all that stuff, and then I've got on this wig, and I had a beard and everything like Macho Man had. But maybe I'll post it as a community post picture or something or other if I find it. I've got a picture of one of those somewhere. But back at the time I did that, I was working out all the time, and my arms were like pretty good. They're getting a little flabby with age now. I used to be I used to be in really good shape, and then I got out of really good shape, and then I got in really good shape again, and then now I'm always in between one or the other. I've weighed as much as almost 300 pounds at one time. Like I go up and down like crazy, but I can lose weight super fast. It's gotten a little bit harder as I've got older. So I've always been one who, like, I lose weight, I go on some crazy strict diet and do whatever, and I can lose weight super fast, and then I'll spend a year gaining it back, and then I lose it again. So I've tried not to do that as much in the last 2 or 3 years, but because it is get once you get older, it's a little bit harder to do that. Now, back in my younger days, I could eat whatever I wanted to, didn't matter. But older you get, it's harder to do. VCG reviews, Morgan's Flex vote. That's the 80 vote right there. Yeah, that was a good days of wrestling. I remember watching wrestling whenever I was younger, and you had Macho Man and the Ultimate Warrior and all those people. Uh, I watched it back then, and then I quit watching it, as I got a little older and all that stuff. And then my wife's little brother was watching it all the time whenever I was dating her, and that was when The Rock was real big, and Triple H and all that stuff. And I don't know who's even in it now. I don't watch it now at all, but uh, I remember watching it like whenever I went back to watch it with him, and I saw The Rock for the first time. I thought he was hilarious, like on there, like it was really funny. Oh yeah, cream of the crop. Cream always rises to the top, Abraham. Justin Richards, Razors Ramon, Diesel, HBK, Bret the Hitman Hart. Yeah, you had like the Road Warriors. I remember the Bushwhackers that walked around and did all that stuff. Yeah, there was a lot of good ones back then. Like I used to watch all the time. And then my great grandma, whenever I was real little, I remember she used to watch it and she'd shake her cane at the TV and like all kinds. Like she was really into it. Like she thought it was real stuff. Like she really loved it. See you, VCG. Appreciate you coming in, buddy. I don't know what time it is. Let's see, 8:05. Macho Man running Milwaukee, and Hogan running DeWalt. Yeah. How long we been on here? 4 and 5. Yeah, I'll stay on here for about 5 more minutes, and like I said, I'm pretty sure she came in, so I'll go in there. I gotta take a shower after being out here and get my bra sweat going on. But yeah, it's always good. Like I said, there'll be times where I'll try to pick something to talk about at the beginning of it, but then there's gonna be times where I'm just gonna come out here and just turn it on. If y'all are around and you want to talk, I'm be on here to talk. I'm sure there's always gonna be some people. It's gonna be hard to always catch everybody at good times because especially all of us, the way that we work, I don't work nights that much anymore. Like I don't really do that. I get to schedule everything that I want to do. So and I'm at a place in my life where unless I really have to, I'm not going out at night and working for people. But and that's more so of a I'm just doing it for somebody because they're in a bad shape type thing. But I know there's going to be times where, some of you work late and, all those kinds of things like that, or some of you are in a total different time zone. And like I said, that's why I did it Saturday afternoon at 11 the last time I did it, because try to catch some of the people over in the UK. I know we got a lot of people on this channel from the UK that watch, and then there's people all the way over on the West Coast, all those things. It's always going to be impossible to catch everybody. So there'll be some times where I just come out here randomly and turn on the camera and we'll see what everybody's doing for the week. Just talk about jobs we're working on, all those kinds of things. Let's see. Any free giveaways? Well, hang on. I missed a couple. Milwaukee Club. Let's see. Any free giveaways? Robbie Anthony, or let's see, Robert Anthony. Every now and then, yeah, I do. Not on this live stream. Every now and then, a lot of times, whenever I get people that send me stuff, I ask them to send me two, and then I pay for shipping to ship one to somebody. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't, and then I'll probably do some giveaways a little bit later on. I might even do something at that 20,000 subscriber mark whenever we get there. Not sure yet, but every now and then I do some, but not on this specific live that we're doing. We're not doing anything today. Let's see, John, if you want it, yours after I do a review. Let's see, dang, this chat is the new marketplace. Morgan's Maintenance gets a finder's fee. I find all kinds of deals, but I try not to, like, there's been all kinds of times where I've like the Klein ratchet and wrenches. I went ahead and made a video for that because it was like half off. And I was like, man, people need to know about this. And it only lasted that day. But there's times where I'm like, I should just probably make a little video. I mean, I find deals all the time like crazy. And some of them aren't like really good, but a lot of them are always only for that specific time. So then by the time people find out about them, they miss them. So I sometimes I probably should make more posts and things like that, if nothing else. Sometimes I don't have time to make a video about it, but I could at least take a picture, screenshot, and make a post. I don't know how many of you get to see the post. I know, like, if you watch YouTube on TV, you probably don't ever see those, which is where I watch mine. So I don't see other people's posts a lot of times, even the people I'm subscribed to, because I watch YouTube on my TV 90% of the time. Have a good night. Thanks. Appreciate it, Ron. Let's see. Thanks for the awesome content. You're welcome. Have you ever used USG mud knives? What do you think of them? No, I pretty much bought whatever Lowe's and like I think I had some of the wall boards or whatever, and then Marshalltown probably, or Marshmallow Town is what I call it. I've had those, but ever since I've been buying level 5 and the all stainless, like I definitely would tell anybody, buy yourself all stainless steel. They're not that much more, and it's so much easier to clean. And I like the handles being smooth and all that stuff. So now that I've swapped to those, that's pretty much all I use. The level 5 stuff's been really good. Now DeWalt sells some, and I think they're actually made by level 5 or vice versa or whatever, because they look identical, even their skimming blades and all that stuff. I'm sure it's exactly the same. I think it's one of those things where they make it in the same place and then slap a different sticker on it. Let's see. Bought the vessel Japan spec and did the mod after seeing your vids. Yeah, I love my vessel screwdrivers. I'm glad I bought those. I would have never known about them for one had I not been on YouTube, and then I would have never tried them. I just never thought I never saw myself needing an electric screwdriver. Whenever you're carrying around these little things, I'm like, why would I buy a screwdriver? I'll just pack this around. But having that in a pouch and using that, it's so much better. Like I use mine all the time. I just used it today, all day long today. It's the only screwdriver I used all day. Vessels are a great tool. The ball handle is genius. I love them. I need some M18 chargers. Thanks for the great content, sir. Pairs perfectly with the DeWalt bit holders. Yeah, it does. Finally catching one of these live. Question, do you have your eye on that new Milwaukee M12 3-inch random orbital detail sander? Looks like a great alternative to some Festool sanders. I might get it if I find it on a deal. It's not going to be a tool that I'm going to use that I'm going to go buy full price. So I'll probably wait until it's hackable with a battery or something like that. I just bought that detail sander. I've been watching it forever, and it's been out for a long time. So I'm probably buy it kind of in the same way I bought that. Once there's a deal of a day for it, and it's something where I can either sell the extra free stuff or return it or do something like that, I'll probably end up getting it. I've always had the rule, if I can find an M12 tool and I can get it for around $100, I don't care what tool it is, I'm going to buy it because there'll be a time whenever I'm going to need it, and I'll be glad that I've got it. Timinator, I use all stainless mud knives as well, well worth the money. Any recommendations for a laser tripod? Just bought the Johnson and it's trash. Seems like maybe a DSLR tripod might be the best option. I use, and I don't have, it's in my truck. I keep it in my truck all the time, and it'd be harder for me to dig that out, but I've got one of them over here. So if you go to I've got a cabinet installation video, so it's called Watch Me Work, and I think it even says something on there, somebody using a third hand to install cabinets. So this is a third hand. It's got feet that you put on here and there. So you can take this and extend it up to the ceiling. And then I have a mount. I'd have to get all that out of my truck now. I won't be able to get it out very fast. So there's a mount that you can just clamp onto here, and then I put my Bosch mount on it, and then it magnetizes to this pole, and then I can just slide it up and down, and then I still have my micro adjust. But they also sell, so even if you don't want to go from the ceiling to the floor with this, they sell a tripod that you slide this in and it wings out. And I mean, it is really good. And then you can still extend this up like 8 feet, 9 feet, 10. I think it goes up to 12 feet. I don't think you can put the level on the full 12 feet because it gets kind of small up here. But let's say hypothetically you can go to 9 feet for sure. There's very few tripods you're going to get that are going to allow you to move your level, that much. And you get to use these for something else. That's the biggest thing to me. So like, it's not just a laser level tripod. I put these on there. I hold cabinets up with them. I hold all kinds of stuff. You can make yourself a zip wall out of them, plastic sheathing to keep dust from coming. So you're buying them for something else and then use them for your level tripod. This is what I use, and it works. It's the best thing I've used so far. I bought the Bosch one a long time ago that went floor to ceiling like this, and it broke. It didn't last very long at all. I wouldn't buy it. There's like a spring in it, and the spring breaks, and then it just doesn't last. But I really like that because, again, like I said, it's a multi-use thing, so it's not just a tripod for your laser level. You can use it for other stuff too. What type of mower do you use to cut your lawn? I'm in the market to get a commercial one. Any recommendations? I've got a Hustler, and it's really old. I can't remember what the model number is on it. I mean, you can't buy it now, whatever it is. And it's really good. I don't know. I'm sure they cost a really crazy amount now, but it's really good. I don't know of any other ones. All I've ever had before I had this one was like Cub Cadets and stuff like that. And again, I mow probably like 3 acres of my 13. So I can't get like a battery mower or anything like that. I have to have gas. But I really like it. But it's old. It's still running good. Still everything. Everything works on it. It's pretty much all metal, and everything's pretty good on it. Alvaro Gonzalez ordered some twin grip after last live. Thanks for the advice. Any recommendation for long 1/4 inch bits? Somebody mentioned some. On bits, I always buy, like, I don't know if you was here whenever I opened this drawer, and that's just all extra stuff. I bought so many like kits to get cases and things like that. I've got bits to last me forever. The regular bit ones are the ones that I keep in my MCT bag. I don't have many bag in here. My MCT I leave in my truck too. Those came in a regular bit rail, so I keep them in my truck for long bits, and they've been working pretty good for me, and they're not very expensive at all. And you get the regular bit rail with them whenever you buy them. If you want to use them for something else, you can do that. I'm also in the market for a laser, but the Milwaukee 360 is pricey. But buy once, cry once. Yeah, I tell you, the little Sigmund one, like I've gotten several of the Amazon ones, and they're all really good. Like I'll be honest with you, I would have never bought a generic laser because of how much I want what that laser does for me, and then if it wasn't accurate and all those things, it would cost me, such a problem later on down the road. That I've always bought Bosch lasers because I trust them. And my Bosch one that I still use, it's the only 12 volt Bosch tool that I still have, and it's still great. I've been using it forever. But the little Sigmund one that fits in my pack out drawer, and it's so small, that's the one I get out 90% of the time just for quick stuff. And it's not very expensive, and I really like it. It's really good. The Hoopar one that I got's really good. The Dovo ones are pretty good. I like the Sigmund one the most just because of the size of it. It's really small and compact, but all the ones that I've tried have been really good as far as for the price and stuff like that. The Dovo ones are a little bit more expensive, and I worry about the batteries on some of those other ones. Like I think the Hoopar might have just taken, I think it might have just charged in the unit. I can't remember how it worked. I'd have to get it back out and see. Actually, I got it right here. We can get that one out. It's a 4-plane. This one was that I reviewed. So I've got this one. I kept this one for 4-plane. Some of my other lasers I've given away locally, like the Dovo ones. I've been giving those away to people that need them because I don't need 17 lasers. But this one took regular batteries, I guess. Let's see. It takes a camcorder battery, but it had an adapter is what it had for regular batteries. So you could take and put regular batteries in it as well. So it took a battery and regular batteries, whichever one you want to do, which that's the way my Bosch 12 volt is. It takes 12 volt batteries, but I've also got an adapter that's shaped like the 12 volt batteries that you can put AA's in and use it. But every laser that I've reviewed, I wouldn't have a problem telling anybody to buy any of them. They're all accurate enough. I've used every single one of them, got the same results out of them. Whether these are as durable as a Bosch or Milwaukee, I don't know. But the nice thing about Milwaukee would be for me is, of course, the batteries would be the same as everything I'm already using. But I'm like you, I can't make myself spend that kind of money. Is because I've already got a bunch of lasers, and I can't see myself spending that kind of money just to be able to use a battery that I've got inside of them. Let's see. I also bought the Milwaukee telescoping pole, and it's good, but their tripod is trash. I heard the Amazon Basics one isn't bad from Sparky Channel's recommendation. The regular mag strap is nice. Yeah, it is. I absolutely love that thing. It stays in my bag all the time. It's basically my parts tray. I don't use any other parts tray now. Do a vid of the laser and tripod if you can. Yeah, I might do that. And like I said, if you go, I kind of talk about it specifically in that video. I install some cabinets, and you can see my Bosch one on there. I don't go in crazy detail of it, but I talk about it and show it, like to show people what I'm using. So you can kind of get a glimpse of it with that if you go find it. Do you have a video on the Sigmund one? Yeah, look it up. It's the Sigmund. I'll go get it real fast. It's easy to get to. I don't remember what the number is on it. Yeah, so it's the CM701, but you can see how small like that one is. But it is super bright, like accurate. The battery life on it is really good, lasts a long time, which it's a built-in battery. So that's the only thing about it is I don't think you'd be able to I don't know. I mean, I haven't taken mine apart. I don't know if you can get in there and change it out or not, but it charges USB-C right there. But it lasts a really long time, and you can plug up and charge it while you're using it at the same time. So like you can be using it, if the battery is low, you can plug a USB-C thing in there and just use it like with it being plugged up as well. So even if later on down the road, let's say hypothetically the battery's trash, you can't replace it, all those things, you should be able to, use an extension cord and run it if you really wanted to. I don't remember how much it is, but I want to say it's like even maybe less than $100. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I've got a video for it and all those kinds of things if you want to check it out. It's the one I use the most. I use that one. That one stays in my truck, and my Bosch one stays in my truck. And then that Hoopar, it's a 4-plane, so I kept it. The 2 Dovos I've given away to some people. I thought I was the only one who bought bit sets just to repurpose and get the case. I've got, like I said, I've got DeWalt bits for life. I've got whole drawers, whole bags, just bags and bags full of DeWalt bits because I got on a kick of using these cases here. I was making my own cases out of these bigger ones. That's what I was using for a while before I kind of changed around some things, and I was going in there on Black Friday just to get the inserts. I was wanting the inserts. I didn't even really need the cases. I just needed the black inserts so I could make my own thing, and then I've got bits for life. And then I'll still buy some if I catch them on sale. Like I said, I do that. I do the same thing with the utility knives that I do with those. Or maybe share the info link on the brand of tripod and laser you use. Thanks in advance. So plumb and 3 or 4-plane. Yeah, with 3-plane, any 3-plane, like I wouldn't buy a laser that wasn't 3-plane. And if you want to get a 4-plane one, that's fine. The 4-plane will help you if you're doing anything like really close to the floor. It's nice to have one. Just depends on what you do. Like if you don't ever work on subfloors or anything like that, or tile showers, you may not need it. And I don't know that I'll be able to show this, but I'll pick up the camera and see if I can. So with the 3-plane, of course you've got square, all 4 directions there. And then not only that, let me get it over here on the 2x4. So you got, 360 degrees. You probably won't be able to see it on my kayaks up here, but but you've also got, you can see that X right there. And then you got that X right here. So that's basically a plumb laser on top of it. So it's like every single laser in one you can do with a 3-plane laser. Like I wouldn't buy a laser that wasn't 3-plane if it was me. And used to, a 3-plane laser would cost you $800. That's why everybody didn't have one. You'd go buy a crossline. But now since the price has come down on these, like there's no way I would buy a laser that wasn't a 3-plane. It's just a waste of money in my opinion if you don't get one, because you can do anything with one. And the fact that it's 360, so like if you're tiling or something like that, that laser goes over top of stuff too, to where you can still see your lines. Let's see, 134 right now, and I'm dumb. It's Sigmund, not Sigmund. Huh? Yeah, Sigmund, CIG. I paid like over $500 for the Milwaukee. Yeah, back whenever I bought my Bosch, which even now it's still like $500 now too. But I think I paid like $700-800 for it whenever I got it. And I had the red 3-plane, and then they came out with the green one, and I wanted the green because I can see that green a whole lot better. It's just, especially in fluorescent lighting. A lot of times I'm working in office spaces with fluorescent lighting. That's another thing that I always recommend to everybody. I say get you a 3-plane and get you a green one. If you can find those 2 combinations and a price point that you can afford and a brand that works out for you, that's what I would get. Have a 20 USD discount coupon code. The Sigmund does, probably has a discount code. Yeah, a lot of times they've got one. Green for sure, 100%. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to get off here. I'm going there and take a shower, wipe my bra sweat off. But appreciate all y'all coming in here tonight. Like I said, it's always good to just jump on here and talk tools, talk what we're doing for the week sometimes. And then every now and then I'll try the ones I schedule. Like if I know that I'm going to try to do it on a certain day, if I check the weather and I know that that's a day that I'm not going to be working late or working in the afternoon or whatever it is. I'll try to schedule those. And I did find on the schedule thing where to turn it from horizontal to vertical, so I won't probably have that problem the next time where I scheduled it as vertical and then it wouldn't let me change it after that point. So on those, I'll try to always have some kind of a topic that I'm going to talk about at the beginning of it, just so that whenever somebody jumps in to watch it, they can hear whatever that topic is for the title. And then after that, whenever we're done talking about that topic, we'll just do the same thing we're doing right now. But appreciate y'all being in here. Y'all have a good rest of your day and hopefully the rest of the week. And then I'll catch y'all on the next one.